I'm 52 years old, and for most of my life I've been careful, maybe too careful. I married young, raised 2 kids, kept a tidy home, followed the rules. Love became routine, predictable, safe. I never chased passion. I maintained things, smiled when expected, listened more than I spoke, and told myself stability was happiness. I was wrong. It started on a Friday afternoon in early June, the air thick with heat. My phone buzzed. Rachel, my closest friend since college. Hey, would it be okay if Ethan stayed with you this weekend? Dad's in the hospital. I need to drive to Tallahassee. Ethan, her son, now 19, home from his first year of college. I remembered him as the shy boy who once hid behind her legs. These days he was taller than both of us, shoulders broad, voice settled, carrying himself like someone who'd already left boyhood behind. Of course, I said yes. Rachel had carried me through hard years. Hosting her son for 2 nights was nothing. He arrived dragging a worn duffel, gave me a small, almost shy smile. Thanks for letting me stay, Miss Garrett. Please, I said, waving it off. You're not 12 anymore. Call me Diane. He grinned. The smile lingered on my face a beat too long. I told myself not to read into it. We slipped into an easy rhythm. I made spaghetti, his favorite, Rachel had once mentioned, and we watched an action movie he loved. He leaned forward, eyes bright, completely absorbed. We talked little that first night. College, his undecided major, maybe switching to environmental engineering. There was a quiet seriousness to him that surprised me. Not aimless at all. Later I brought towels to the guest room and found him on the back deck, staring into the dark. Fireflies blinked in the grass, cicadas droned. You okay? I asked, stepping out. He nodded, then after a moment, sometimes I wish I could freeze time. Just stop everything. You ever feel that? I looked at the clean line of his jaw in the moonlight, the earnestness in his voice. Yeah, I said softly. More than you'd think. He turned. Something flickered between us, brief, unspoken. Then he smiled, stood, said good night. I stayed outside under the stars, warmth spreading through my chest. I told myself it was appreciation, a reminder of youth. Nothing more. The next day we worked in the garage, clearing boxes to Fleetwood Mac. He knew every word, sang along without embarrassment. I teased him about his taste. He laughed and said Rachel had raised him on my old playlists. By late afternoon, we were sweaty and tired. I suggested the pool. I hadn't swum in years. I changed into a simple black one-piece, suddenly aware of how my body had softened over time, and stepped outside. He was already in the water, floating on his back, eyes closed, peaceful, beautiful in that careless, youthful way. Come on in, he said without looking. The water was sun-warm. We splashed, talked nonsense. Then he looked at me and said, You don't smile much. I do. He shook his head. You pretend. When it's real, it lights up your whole face. My breath caught. I laughed it off, but the words stayed. That night I couldn't sleep. His voice, his gaze, the way he saw me, not as the mom friend, not as middle-aged routine, but as a woman. Something long asleep was stirring, and it terrified me as much as it thrilled me. Sunday morning I woke early, sat with coffee, watching mist rise off the lawn. When his bare feet sounded on the stairs, I felt my pulse jump. Ridiculous. He was 19. I was 52. This was nonsense. He appeared in the kitchen doorway. Hair messy, t-shirt clinging from sleep sweat. Morning? Eggs? I asked. He nodded. We moved quietly around each other. When I handed him the plate, our fingers brushed. Electricity shot up my arm. I pretended not to notice. You always seem so calm, he said while we ate. I laughed. Boring, you mean? No. You make the house feel safe. The simple honesty undid me. I'd spent decades being the steady one, the one who held everything together. Being seen felt like a gift. By afternoon, a summer storm rolled in. Rain drummed the roof. We ended up on the couch with an old photo album and candles in case the power failed. He pointed to a picture of my daughter at 6, holding a frog. She looks like you. Same eyes. She's braver than I ever was, I murmured. He looked at me. You don't give yourself enough credit. Our knees touched. The couch felt smaller. Thunder rolled. You remind me of someone I used to know, I said softly. Good or bad? Good. But it scares me. Silence. Then he reached out and laid his hand over mine. Warm. Steady. You don't have to be afraid with me. I didn't pull away. I let the warmth travel up my arm. Eventually I stood, mumbled something about tea, and fled to the kitchen. My heart hammered. This had to stop. But it didn't. That night, after he'd gone upstairs, I sat in the dark living room, blanket around my shoulders, replaying every glance, every word. Just after 2, I heard him on the stairs. I couldn't sleep, he said from the doorway. Me neither. He sat beside me, not too close, but close enough. I'm leaving tomorrow, he said. I know. Long pause. I don't want to pretend this weekend didn't happen. We haven't done anything. We have, he said quietly. You feel it too, don't you? I looked away, then back. Yes, he reached for my hand again. This time, I laced my fingers through his. I'm not asking for forever, he whispered. I just don't want to be the only one who felt it. You're not. We sat in silence until I leaned my head on his shoulder. His arm came around me. We stayed like that a long time, simple presence, no pressure. Then he turned his face toward mine. Our foreheads touched. I could feel his breath, quick and warm. Diane, he said, voice rough. I lifted my chin. Our lips met. Soft at first, tentative, testing. Then deeper. His hand cupped my cheek, mine slid to the back of his neck. The kiss turned hungry. Years of restraint unraveled in seconds. He pulled back just enough to search my eyes. Tell me to stop. I didn't. Instead I stood, took his hand, led him upstairs to my bedroom. The door clicked shut. Moonlight spilled across the sheets. Clothes came off slowly. His T-sharp first, then mine. His hands trembled as they traced my shoulders, my waist, learning curves time had softened. I felt exposed, vulnerable, and for the first time in decades, desired. He kissed down my throat, my collarbone, lower. When his mouth closed over my breast, I gasped, fingers threading through his hair. He took his time, tasting, teasing until I was shaking. I pushed him gently onto his back, climbed over him. His erection strained against his boxers. I palmed him through the fabric, felt him jerk. He groaned my name, low, broken. I slid the boxers down. He was thick, hard velvet over steel. I stroked him slowly while he watched me, eyes dark with want. Then I leaned down and took him in my mouth. Just the tip at first, then deeper. His hips lifted. His hands fisted the sheets. Diane, fuck. I pulled off, kissed my way back up his body until I straddled him again. I guided him to my entrance, already slick, aching. When I sank down, taking him inch by inch, we both moaned. He filled me completely, stretching, hot, perfect. For a moment we stayed still, breathing together, foreheads pressed. Then I started to move. Slow rolls at first, savoring every slide. His hands gripped my hips, guiding, but not forcing. Faster, harder. Skin slapped skin. Sweat slicked us. I braced my hands on his chest. He thrust up to meet me, deep, relentless. I came first, sharp, shattering, crying out against his shoulder. He followed seconds later, pulsing inside me, groaning my name like a prayer. We collapsed, tangled, breathless. His arms wrapped around me. I rested my cheek on his chest, listening to his heart race. We didn't speak for a long time. Morning came too soon. We showered together, quiet touches, soft kisses, no urgency now. Just closeness. When Rachel pulled up, he hugged me at the door, long, tight, secret. Thank you, he whispered against my ear. For seeing me, I watched him climb into her car. She waved, oblivious. I waved back. Later I sat on the deck with tea, sun warm on my skin. The house was quiet again. My body still carried the memory of him, aches in sweet places, skin sensitive. Maybe it was only a weekend. Maybe it was the beginning of something reckless and real. Either way, I wasn't the same woman who'd watered the garden 3 days earlier. I'd woken up, and I wasn't going back to sleep.